Hello, everyone. So, today we have another awesome story of exclusively breastfeeding. But yes, there is a little twist because I will tell you this is again not an easy thing. The mother today on board has been exclusively pumping and giving breast milk to her baby. And I will let you know it is not easy to pump every time and give the baby. So, it's a big hats off to her. So, today we have Mrs Nalin Sharma from Indore, who is right now today with us. Welcome, Nalin.
Thank you, Dr. Tanima. Thank you for having on board.
So, Nalin, please tell us in brief about yourself.
So, I'm a homemaker. So, I'm married to an army officer. So, my lifestyle is that I keep traveling. I'm married for the past 2 years, and I had my baby this August, 3rd of August. And since then, yeah, my journey as a mother started.
Okay. So, what was your biggest challenge in the breastfeeding journey?
So my biggest was that I did not have my family around. I mean, the first thing, because I was staying away from the family. So it was a lot of stress because the first 40 periods of postpartum, everybody knows they're very, very challenging. And you need a lot of mental support. I mean, lots and lots of mental support to get through it, because motherhood is altogether. I mean, suddenly somebody comes to life in your life, milk is getting demanded every not even 2 hours, एक घंटे में the baby wants milk. So, and you are new to the process, it's very, very challenging. So my biggest breastfeeding journey, my biggest challenge was lack of mental support, and there was nobody to tell me, okay, beta, it will pass, and you just have to get through it. It happens, it's okay. And people around me were putting me in self doubt. You don't have enough milk supply, and अच्छा आज कैसा feel हो रहा है, या all that. I mean, it was all confusing. Nobody was there to tell me that it's all okay, and the milk supply generally increases over the first 40 days. So it was my biggest challenge, the lack of mental support from the women especially.
Correct. Okay. So then what happened? Share your breastfeeding journey with us.
So basically, initially I was breastfeeding. I was latching my baby, and my baby was sucking nicely. But I had a lot of problem breastfeeding because my right breast had a lot of pain while I was feeding him. So after some time, thoda feed karane ke baad, I had to take him off because it was giving me a lot of pain. The first challenge was that, and I did not know how to cope up with that. So it was mentally very agonizing that, oh my god, I have to do it for another 1 year or 6 months. How I'm going to do it? The second thing is, formula got introduced in a very subtle manner because the hospital people were giving formula. We thought, okay, formula is fine. So I came with a concept that formula is good. Okay. So later on, I got to know, oh no, I can't put my baby on formula from day one because I'm having feed. If I didn't have feed, then it was an altogether different story. But I was having feed, but then I should not give my baby formula so early in his life. So the next thing was that formula was subtly introduced, and we did not have any problem with formula as such. But later on, we got to know that it is not good. Breast milk is obviously the best form of nutrition for the child. So I was latching my child, everything was going good. And suddenly one day we just weighed him, and the weight gain was just 300 grams, I think, in a week or what. And he had obviously lost weight. Every baby loses weight, like 10 every baby. But aware of the whole process, it happens. So he lost. We switched to formula for just one feeding. So then I don't know, suddenly what happened, everybody started putting me in self-doubt that you don't have enough milk supply. So I was asking different people, what are the symptoms of having enough milk? How do you feel? I mean, how does your body feel? So everybody was giving me different answers. So I got in self-doubt that I don't have milk supply. So my one of the ladies whom I know, she was an exclusive pumper. She was exclusively pumping 20 years back because her baby could not latch. 20 years back, she had done this. So she suddenly came to my home and she told me her story. And I was like, okay, you pumped like 20 years back, and with that hand pump, you did it. So I was quite surprised. I thought, okay, let me just try this, because at that time I also did not know that pumping is very hard. So I thought, okay, if not breastfeeding, then pumping. So I started with pumping, and I was pumping like hell. I was pumping like 10 to 12 times a day. And then when it came to feeding my child, I was so exhausted. I was like, let's give him whatever we have. So this is how my pumping journey began. And stopped latching him, of course, very early on in the third week or so, until or unless the breastfeeding, the latching thing develops, or the what do you call, the relation between the child and the mother develops. उससे पहले ही मैंने उसको छुड़ा दिया था. So obviously he did not develop the habit of sucking very nicely. So he took the bottle and he was happy. I was happy. And but suddenly what happened, it was taking a lot of mental toll on me. Pumping 8 to 12 times a day was very, very tough. So although I was producing milk, but it was like I can't do this. So suddenly I decreased my pumping, because it was just getting too much. And then I contacted Dr Tanima, because I was giving my baby formula also that time. And the formula was dhire dhire, it was increasing. And somewhere I was getting okay with it. Okay, fine, if he's getting formula, then what? But everybody around me was telling me that you should give your baby breast milk as long as you can, because if you have feed, you should give it. Then she suggested me to pump 4 times a day and to try to latch my child. And I also ordered her ingredients, lacto magic, and then moringa tablets, and I took them. And but somehow or other, the latching could not happen, because my body was I was first of all, pumping was my only source of giving my child breast milk, because he was not latching. So somehow I could not give up pumping. I could not even decrease it, and when I decreased it, my supply also decreased. So I was pumping 5 times a day, but then my supply also decreased and the formula increased. But then what happened, I went home. I went back to my home, and suddenly the mental setup changed. I felt relaxed mentally a lot, and suddenly my milk supply increased. I mean, I did not do anything extraordinary, but yes, I pumped more. Then I was pumping 5 times a day, and then when I went back home, I was pumping 8 times a day, and my milk supply increased. And now it's like कि bottle ज़्यादा है, वो पीता कम है. So I have a good milk supply, and now I've decreased it to 7. Now he's 3 plus. So I have decreased it to 7 pumps a day.
So share your routine of pumping and the tips you would like to give to exclusively pumping moms.
Okay, so first of all, if you're a new mother, then try to breastfeed, because it's more simpler. I mean, it's more easier. You can come to pumping later when your child is a little older. But initially, I think the first 40 days, everybody should breastfeed, because it's the best way to build your milk supply. Initially, I thought that I would not be able to manage. But generally, when the baby is small, he sleeps a lot and he plays with himself and he keeps to himself. So you definitely find time. So now I'm pumping every 3 hours. So what I do is, my first pump in the morning would be 8 o'clock, then would be around 11ish, then around 2. If not 2, then 1:30, because I see if he's sleeping, then I will pump at 1:30. If he's awake, yeah. So I manage the time according to his sleep and according to his playful activities. Obviously, if he's crying, I can't pump. So you have to see if your baby is sleeping, you pump. If he's playing, you pump. So around 2 I pump, then around 5, then around 5, then 8, then 10, 10 or 11:30, 10 or 11, whatever time I sleep. And then I wake one time in the night, like around 3 I wake up, and then I pump, because the baby also needs milk that time. So I feed him the bottle and I pump. So this is my routine. 8 times a day I pump, every 3 hours, one pump.
Okay, so your baby is 3 months now, and
Yeah.
most of the times when the babies are not latching, and I advise the mothers, if you can pump regularly. So they say that I'm not able to find time, and they are just not able to manage. So now I see that you are also managing things alone, like you, because you are from army background, so you are not staying with the family, and you are managing things alone, and your baby is also very small, 3 months only. So just give some tips to our moms, which will be very helpful for them to manage time accordingly.
Honestly, for pumping, you need family support. If I have to be honest, I'm alone, but I have a lot of house help.
Yes.
I don't have like do everything. Because if I have to do everything, then pumping is difficult, because you have to find time to pump, you have to save the bottles, you have to clean them, and you again have to find time to pump. Schedules have to be made. So first of all, your family needs to understand that you need time to pump. They have to, because Indian families can't understand. Let me be honest. They'll be like, what is she doing? Every 3 hours she's going, and if you have obligations, you're living with in-laws, or you have a big family, then it's more difficult. It's more difficult to make other people understand, because
Actually,
this
what
was
happens, people don't take pumping as the part of breastfeeding. उनको लगता है कि
exactly.
इससे कुछ नहीं होगा, इससे तो काम करो, जो दे रही हो ऊपर का वो देते रहो. They feel that way. So, but if the baby
Yeah.
is directly feeding, they will be supportive. कि जाओ जाओ
Yeah.
बच्चे को दूध पिलाओ. But अगर वो मदर पंप कर रही है तो they will not be supportive कि इससे कुछ नहीं होगा, कब तक करोगी ऐसे and all those things. So, like as you are telling that, okay, family needs support, but as you are managing with the house help, so any mother who doesn't have a support, they can have a house help for them, which can manage other things, and they can manage the time to pump and to spend with the baby. So this is one takeaway for all the mothers who are listening here. See, you have to invest in house help if you don't have a supportive family for that. You can have a house help for yourself who can do the other things, and you can manage time. You can spare some time for regular pumping and spending time with your baby. Hello, Nalin, this will be good advice for all of them.
Oh, yes, of course. You need support. You need your husband. Yes. Support you definitely need if you want to pump. And I've realized in my journey of 3 months, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. I mean, you can do it. But the flip side of the coin is, it's your journey alone. It's a mother's journey alone. I mean, you have to take the call. You have to make schedules. You have to wake up at night to do it. You have to do it.
Yeah, you will feel sometimes that you are alone, because obviously pumping को तो लोग consider ही नहीं करते हैं कि वो एक breastfeeding का part भी है, generally speaking. So you have to keep yourself motivated, because it is so exhausting. बैठ के पहले पंप करना, and then वो मिल्क को एक्सप्रेस करा हुआ मिल्क को या तो स्टोर करना या बच्चे को पिलाना. It is very exhausting. And उसके बाद भी आपको एक फीलिंग हमेशा होती रहती है कि I am not able to directly latch my baby. वो एक मेंटल फीलिंग भी होती रहती है मदर को. नलिन, आपका नेटवर्क अच्छा नहीं. आई अंडरस्टैंड कि आप लोग थोड़ा एरियाज जो होते हैं वहाँ पे नेटवर्क बहुत अच्छा कैच नहीं करता है, because my family में भी सब लोग डिफेंस बैकग्राउंड से हैं, so I know कि थोड़ा नेटवर्क का इश्यूज रहते हैं आप लोग के. So
that's why I'm sitting outside.
Yeah, I saw that. This was one takeaway for all the moms who are जिनका बच्चा लैच नहीं कर रहा है. Instead of falling into the trap of formula, you can pump the milk and give it to the baby. But for pumping, you need either your family support, or you need to have a proper house help who can do the other course, and you can take out time for pumping. Okay. So
so I would like to add,
yes,
I mean, go for manual pumps because they're very time consuming. So I have an electric pump. So electric pumps are better because you just have to hold them and the milk will come automatically with the motor. So invest in a good pump. So the journey becomes easier, because every time you don't have to sit for like 30 minutes. So now it just takes 15 minutes to, empty my breasts, both breasts.
Correct.
15 minutes. Yeah. So invest in a good pump.
Yes, also. This is a very good point which you have mentioned, because sometimes mothers, उनको पहले ही वो डाउट होता है कि होगा भी कि नहीं होगा, लूं कि नहीं लूं. अगर आप पहले इतना सोचोगे तो फिर आप कैसे करोगे? आपको पहले सोच करके ये मन में बिठाना होगा कि यस, मुझे अपने बच्चे को ब्रेस्ट मिल्क देना है. डायरेक्टली होगा तो बहुत अच्छा, अगर डायरेक्टली नहीं हो पा रहा है तो कैसे भी करके हमारा मेन मोटिव होना चाहिए कि हम बच्चे को ब्रेस्ट मिल्क दें. तो उसके लिए अगर आपको एक अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट करना पड़ता है ब्रेस्ट पंप के लिए, एक अच्छे ब्रेस्ट पंप के लिए, यू कैन गो फॉर दैट। ये इतना अपने आप को आप पहले से परेशान करोगे और ऐसी चीजें जाओगे जो कि आपको हेल्प नहीं करेगी, तो वो आपको फर्दर डिमोटिवेट करेगी। सो दिस इज अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट व्हिच मिसेस नालिन हैज मेंशन, दैट इन्वेस्ट इन अ गुड पंप सो दैट यू कैन योर ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग जर्नी में आपको ये पंपिंग का इतना डिफिकल्ट ना हो। 10-15 मिनट्स में अगर आप पंप कर लोगे तो इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू टू मैनेज टाइम एंड अदर थिंग्स। Okay. So my next question to you is, how was your experience? Like आपने जब मुझे reach out किया था, उस समय आपका बेचा बहुत ज्यादा फॉर्मूला पे चला गया था उस समय, है ना? और लैचिंग में भी बहुत डिफिकल्टी हो रही थी. So how was your experience that time?
My experience was honestly good because you understood me. I mean, after a long time, like my baby was already like I think 1.5 or 2. So you heard me. Getting heard is a big deal that at that point of time. So also, mentally it helped. I tried all those things which you told me. Although I took a different path altogether, but I definitely tried. I tried to latch him. Ek do baar hua bhi. Overall, my journey was good. And after that, also I get all these notifications of breastfeeding mothers and all that. So it's good to see that people are able to do it, and it gives you motivation that if they can do it, you can also do it. Maybe the other way around, but still you can do it. So my journey was really good, and the journey was good. That's why today I'm here sharing my experience with all of you. Yeah.
True. Actually, I always prefer directly feeding, but yes, I don't demotivate the mother if the baby is not able to latch, because we have to empathize also. हमको उस जगह पे समझना पड़ता है that sometimes it is not possible. हम सब efforts कर रहे होते हैं मगर नहीं हो रहा होता है. तो I always prefer directly latching. मैं हमेशा mothers को push करती हूँ कि आप directly latch कराओ, मगर अगर नहीं होता है तो I don't demotivate them. That is the only thing which I work upon, that I don't say that कि अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है तो छोड़ दो, ऐसा नहीं बोलते हूँ. तो दैट इज वन थिंग. इसीलिए जब आपने मेरे को बताया कि अभी हमारे शायद परसों इस बारे में बात हुई ना, दैट आई एम एक्सक्लूसिवली ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग, लेकिन वो पंपिंग है. So I really said that is a great thing to do, and I want you to be there on the board, because I want my mothers जिनके बच्चे लैच नहीं कर रहे हैं किसी भी वजह से, at least they get that motivation and that inspiration कि चलो मैं pump करूँ. And that's why getting you on the board to give the tips and to giving them that motivation is very important. कि अगर वो possible नहीं हो रहा है तो at least it is not only about कि direct latch ही करे बच्चा, नहीं कर रहा है तो at least we have some other alternative to do that.
Yes,
okay. And,
yes, absolutely.
And my last question to you is, what message you would like to give to expectant and fellow mothers?
So to expectant mothers, I would suggest that join some classes, the breastfeeding counseling and all, because I did not do that and I was clueless when I became a mother. So it's better to know things beforehand, to have all the information, rather than to be clueless and to be in depression, because I faced that. So the expectant mothers should join classes, they should take counseling, they should talk to people like lactation consultants like Dr Tanima Singhal. So they should do that. And for fellow mothers, I would suggest that whoever are breastfeeding are amazing mothers. I mean, they are giving breast milk to their babies, and that's something we should adore, because many people don't do that, by willingly don't do that. And if they're doing and they're taking the pain of sitting for hours with their child, it's something to be proud of, and they should be proud of themselves. And even if you're exclusively pumping and able to give your child breast milk, then also you are doing a lot of hard work. So you should be proud of yourself, that in that case too. So all the mothers who are doing that and giving their child nutrition are great, and I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much. It was such a nice message. So the best part is you have to try your best to give breast milk to your child. If directly, that is very good. If it is not possible directly, then also you can pump and give your baby. There is no harm in doing that. The only pointers is that you need a proper support system. And if it is not there, get a support system for yourself. You make that support system for yourself. That is very important, and that decision has to be taken by you yourself. And the second pointer is invest in good gadgets so that it works properly with you and you don't have to spend a lot of time and efforts into that. that becomes a easier thing. These two pointers are very important into this. Thank you, Mrs. Nalin, to coming here and sharing your experience and the journey. And I always say that it is not easy to pump and give breast milk, and for that, hats off to you. And congratulations for this all. And take care. Take very good care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on board. It was great talking to you and sharing my experience.
Yes,
Thank you.
most welcome. Bye bye.